Hello and welcome to episode 59 of the Law Firm Marketing Mastery Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Christopher Small, and I'm really excited to be here. I'm talking on my new Blue Snowball microphone. I got this microphone for a couple of reasons. The first is that I wanted to be able to work and do these podcasts both in the office or at home, and I only had one microphone, so I was lugging it back and forth. It was kind of a pain in the butt, so I decided to get this. I think it costs, $30 or something, and it's well worth it. It's supposed to be a pretty good microphone too. We'll find out. This is the first time I've ever used it. It's something where you just plug and play. So here we go. Here we are. The reason I needed to get this, the reason that I'm doing a lot of these from home, or we'll be doing them from home in the future, is because on Thursday, May 15th, 2014, welcomed my son, Jackson, into the world. And so because he's here, now we're going to have two kids under the age of 2, which is going to be pretty crazy. I'm going to be spending a little bit more time at home, and I wanted to be able to work, to talk to you, while I'm at home, and so I can provide some support to the wifey and to the kids, obviously. And that's one of the great things about owning your own business, owning your own law firm, is that you can have the luxury of staying at home and working at home if you want. And so yeah, it's great. 2 kids, by the way. It's not been too bad of an experience. I don't know if any of you even care about this, but if you're ever thinking about having 2 kids, it's been pretty cool so far. I think we're like 4 days in. So Blakely, my daughter, is really been great. She's taken a real liking to Jackson, just calls him baby. Hi baby all the time. So it's pretty cool. Last week I wasn't just having babies, I was also doing some stuff. I had a great interview with this lawyer that I'll be posting here probably next week, who has, believe it or not, over 100,000 Facebook fans. And ridiculous, really. So I wanted to pick his brain to figure out, what he did and how he did it, and if he had any secrets to share with anyone, with us, for how we can do it too. And I'm going to get into this kind of a little bit in this episode. It's kind of the theme of this episode, but what you're going to hear from him and what you're going to hear from people I interview in the future, because I plan on doing more interviews in the future because I really like them. I feel like, I can tell my story here, but for me, it gets kind of old. For you, it may get kind of old. So I want to bring other people in so they can tell their stories too, so that you can have more inspiration to draw on. You can have more real world examples to draw on. You can get some people that are not just criminal defense attorneys or personal injury attorneys to kind of steal some ideas from. But what I want you to pay attention to when you hear these interviews is just the overall theme, right? And what you're going to hear time and time again is make a plan, execute the plan, work your butt off, and don't give up, and things will start to happen. And once they start to happen, you got to continue to work hard, and things will just continue to grow, and they'll snowball, right? No pun intended for the new Blue Snowball. I will tell you though that only half of the interview is going to be available to everyone, to all of you out there listening to this podcast right now. The other half is going to be reserved for Law Firm Confidential members. So that means you're going to get about, you're going to get about half an hour of content, and then there's going to be another half an hour on the backside. And I want to do that because, I want to really reward the people that are putting their money where their mouth is when it comes to starting and building their law firm. And the members of Law Firm Confidential are doing that. So I want to reward them. The topic for this week is going to be what to do if you don't know what to do, right? I know that there are a lot of people out there that are struggling, that they feel like they're doing everything that they can, but things just aren't going right. They're not making any money, and they're not sure why. They're not sure what in the world is going on. And that's what we're going to talk about today. All right, here we go. Okay, so this episode is actually inspired by another podcast episode that I just recently heard. It's called I Love Marketing. It's a wonderful podcast. It's by 2 dudes who are multimillionaires, and they are great marketers. They love marketing, kind of like I do. Their podcast centers around marketing businesses, kind of like this one is. And I listen to them for inspiration and for ideas and thoughts. And I heard them talking about this, and I thought it'd be a great thing to talk about here too, in the context of owning and running a successful law firm. And the way that they started out their episode was I think it's Joe Polish, and there's another guy, and I think it was the other guy that was telling the story about what to do if you don't know what to do. And his story was it's centered around him. His story was he owned a painting business, service-based business, or not painting, I'm sorry, carpet cleaning, a carpet cleaning business. And he was struggling. He'd been working for about 2 years with his business, and he was actually losing money every month, where his income wasn't covering his expenses. And he knew that he was slowly but surely kind of working his way into bankruptcy. And he was having a tough time. And a buddy of his asked him if he wanted to go on a jet ski, kind of like a vacation, a little mini vacation jet ski trip with him. And he thought to himself, no, I don't really want to go. The last thing I want to do is go and take a vacation and spend some more money when I have basically this failing business hanging over my head. But the guy that asked him mentioned that, one of the guys that was going to be there, I think there were 4 of them that went total, was like a millionaire in real estate development. And so he thought, okay, well, maybe I'll go and I'll pick the brains of this guy. And we'll see if we can, maybe I can pick something up. Maybe I can learn something about my business, how to make it better. So which is a separate lesson all in and of itself. So he goes to this ski trip, and there are 2 jet skis. So 2 people out at a time. 2 people are sitting, hanging at the car. And eventually this guy, Joe, was hanging with the real estate guy. So he kind of, he said, hey, what do you do? I heard you were in real estate, and can I pick your brain a little bit about how to be successful? And the guy said, yeah, sure. So he explained what was going on. He explained, that he was in the carpet cleaning business, and that things were going terrible. And so he was kind of looking for another avenue, another venture to go into, because the carpet cleaning business wasn't working out for him. And he wanted to know a little bit about real estate and things like that, and how to get into it, and if there was money to be made and stuff like that. And the real estate guy asked him a real interesting question. He asked him if there were successful people in the carpet cleaning business, and the guy said, well, yeah, there are a couple businesses out there, grossing a couple $1 million a year in the carpet cleaning business. And so the millionaire, the real estate guy, then said, okay, well, then I'm not going to tell you anything about the real estate business. I'm not going to tell you anything about any other business, because the way I see it right now, the problem is not the business that you're in. The problem is your business skills, right? If there are other people out there with successful carpet cleaning businesses, then you must be doing something wrong, right? You must not be executing the plan accordingly. There must be something with the way that you're doing things with your business. He said specifically, if there are successful people out there, it isn't the market, it's you. And that was really an eye-opening experience for this guy. And so he started doing a whole bunch of different things related to his business, eventually turned it around, built his carpet cleaning business into a multi-million-dollar business, and the rest is history. And I know that story relates to us, right? Because we know that there are successful lawyers out there with legal practices. I for one feel like I have a successful law practice, that I'm a successful law firm owner, and I know there are other people, even in Seattle, in my own city, that are not as successful, and they blame it on market conditions or experience or time in the market, or 100 other different things, instead of really looking within and really kind of figuring out if they have the level of business expertise that they need to get to where they want to go. And for many of us, if we did take that look, if we did look inside, then we would probably not be happy with the answer. Okay. So what I want to talk about today is what we can do if you don't know what to do, what you can do if you're struggling, the things that you can do to increase your business awareness, to become better at the business of law firm ownership. All right, so here we go. There's 4 things. The first thing is research. All right, you think about it. Whatever you do, whatever practice area that you have, right? You didn't just decide that you were going to become an expert and then all of a sudden you know what you're doing, right? You had to research. You had to really dive in. You had to read cases. You had to read practice guides. You had to read practice manuals. You had to go to CLEs. You had to dive into everything that you do, right? If you are in litigation, then you had to not only learn, the rules of procedure, you had to also learn trial advocacy skills. You had to learn negotiation skills. You had to learn written persuasive skills. You had to learn oral persuasive skills. You had to learn jury selection. There are 100 million things that you had to learn. And one of the ways that you learn those is by researching everything you can about that topic and learning as much as you can from those books. And when it comes to business, there are no shortage of business books out there. And instead of worrying about picking the right one or getting the right one, just start reading as many as you can. I can tell you the one that I would start with would be like E-Myth Mastery Revisited, I think, or revised, or the new edition of E-Myth Mastery, which stands for the Entrepreneur Myth. That book teaches you about the different roles in a business, the owner, the technician, the manager, things like that. That will give you a great foundation for the way that you should be looking at your business. Another one is Think and Grow Rich. That will also kind of give you an idea of what to do. What's the other one? John Warlow's book. I talk about it here all the time. Built to Sell. Okay, these are all kind of foundational business books that you can read. And then read as many other ones as you can find, right? If something looks interesting to you, grab it and read it. Okay, number 2 thing that you can do when you don't know what to do is mimic, right? You know who the successful law firms are out there in your practice areas, and even in the areas of practice that you're not involved with. Go out there and continue to really immerse yourself in what they do, and then steal the good stuff, right? If you see that they're using something that works, then figure out why they're doing it if you can, and then go do it. So mimic, right? You want to mimic everything that they do that works. And if you don't like something, do it obviously, but people can't help but show you what works because they have to put themselves out there to make some money, right? Okay, number 3 is to immerse yourself, right? You need to become a business owner through and through. That means you can't just be a lawyer all the time. You got to think about everything that's related to business. That means you need to eat, sleep, and drink business. Think about the way that you studied for the bar exam and the level of commitment that you gave to learning and understanding the law. You need to give that same level of commitment to your business for it to succeed. And the more time and effort and energy that you give, the more that you'll get out of it in the long run. And that's where a lot of people hang up. They feel like, I'll just open my firm, I'll put some ads on the web, or I'll buy a radio ad, and it'll be all good. But it's bigger than that. You have to be out there pushing yourself, and you need to understand the fundamentals of what drive people to you and to your firm, and then you need to know how to turn those people into money, basically, right? If you don't know how to do that, then it's going to be a struggle. And you need to know how to do that in ways that are different than just lawyer ads and websites. You need to know the fundamentals of networking and the fundamentals of direct marketing and the fundamentals of copywriting. You can't, you're not going to know how to do that stuff unless you immerse yourself in it. And then 4th and finally, if you don't know what to do, and you don't know what to do, then you need to get out there and just start doing stuff, right? You need to start experimenting. You need to start trying things. You need to put yourself out there and see what works and what doesn't work. Keep what works, toss what doesn't, and then try something new. And then you build and build and build. And then all of a sudden, one day you look up and boom, you got a very successful business. Yeah, I mean, that's it. You got to get out there and do. Don't be frozen with fear. Don't be frozen with indecision. Don't continue to research and research and research. If you have 3 options, try one, see what happens. If it works, that's great. Then implement the second option. If option 1 doesn't work, dump it and do option 2. If option 2 works, then you keep it and implement option 3. If option 2 doesn't work, dump it, implement option 3. You just continue to do this forever, right? You never stop doing this. That's the whole key. You're always testing. You're always pushing. You're always doing. And eventually you'll add more and more streams of revenue, more streams of potential clients to your firm. And again, you're going to be doing great. So that's it. You know, if you're struggling right now and you're not sure what to do, then do those 3 things: research, mimic, immerse yourself, and do. And I guarantee you, when you look up in a couple months, you will no doubt be more successful than you are now. Hopefully so much more so that you're excited to really continue on with your firm. Okay, that's it for me this week. I'm excited to talk to you again next week. The kid will be another week older. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more well rested, and we'll talk about some more stuff. So if you have questions, comments, anything, you can go to iTunes. You can leave me a review. You can ask me a question there. You can go to the blog, lawfirmmarketingmastery.com. You can leave me a question there. You can email me, chris@lawfirmmarketingmastery.com. You can find me on Twitter @csmall. And if you're interested in the membership site, Law Firm Confidential, and you want some more information, then you can just go to lawfirmmarketingmastery.com/confidential. Right now, the membership site is closed, so I'm not accepting new members, but that is probably going to change in the next couple months. So if you want to know about the membership site, if you want to get an idea of what it's all about, then go there and check it out. All right. Until next week, I will talk to you soon. Bye.